back next year, even without an all-star game. Reporting live downtown, Heather Horgan, Channel 4 News.
Well, all day long, people have been remembering where they were 30 years ago, the morning the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. I was at a press conference here in Nashville. They were announcing the arrival of the American Airlines Airport Hub. Someone ran into the room and told us. We headed out to the news car and straight to Murfreesboro, where there was a strong local connection to the story. A teacher who almost went up on that mission. Here's a look back at what I reported 30 years ago tonight.
This was going to be such a triumph for American education, and now it is such an unspeakable tragedy.
Her name was Bonnie Fakes, and she had gone through all the same training as Krista McAuliffe. Bonnie was one of a select few finalists for Teacher in Space.
When you sat down with your application, did you ever think of anything like this?
Not in my wildest dreams. I was guilty, as everyone has been, of thinking that it's so safe that it's routine. And I mean, look at it. This is the 25th flight. The first 24 are picture perfect.
I think you all need to talk about it, and I know I need to talk about it.
We were back in Bonnie's classroom the very next day, where she and her students wiped away tears and tried to make sense of it all.
15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles, downrange distance 7 nautical miles.
Seems like somewhere somebody should have saw something that went wrong.
Today, 30 years later, Bonnie was in Florida to take part in a special remembrance. We reached her by phone.
You know, it was just a beautiful tribute to the astronauts, and it's something that I think every American would really enjoy seeing.
Bonnie has retired from teaching, her kids are grown, and she lost her husband Ray 2 years ago. Ironically, he had worked at a plastics company and was an expert on O-rings, the very thing blamed for the tragedy.
He came storming in the house, just furious. He said, anybody knows that O-rings don't work well in cold weather. And I looked at him and I said, Ray, you know that. I said, but anybody obviously doesn't know it. You know, and he was just furious at the fact that his wife could have been killed in an accident involving an O-ring, but he knew the science behind what was involved in O-rings.
Well, Bonnie says it was raining in Florida today, which seemed appropriate for this sad but significant anniversary.
You know, but still, even seeing that video, it's just vivid remembering that day.
I'll never forget it.
Never will. Well, let's talk about